Good afternoon, everybody. Today we'll be doing The Sleeping Beauty, also known as Briar Rose, adapted by Richard Swallow.
I will be doing narrator 1's part.
I am narrator 2.
I am narrator 3.
I am narrator 4.
I'm narrator.
I'm the frog.
I'm the king.
I'm the king.
Princess. I'm the princess. I'm the old one.
Once upon a time, there was a king with a queen who said everything. If only we had a child.
But they never had one.
It so happened that once when the queen was living, a frog leaped out of the water onto the land and said to the queen,
Your wish shall be fulfilled before my year has gone by if I have a daughter.
What the frog had said came true, and the queen had a little girl who was so pretty that the king could not contain himself for joy. He ordered a great feast. He invited not only his kindred, friends, and acquaintances, but also the wise women, in order that they might be kind and well disposed towards the child.
There were 13 of them in his kingdom, but as he had only 12 golden plates for them to eat out of, one of them had to be left at home.
The feast was held with all manner of splendor, and when it came to an end, the wise women bestowed their magic gifts upon the baby. One gave virtue, another beauty, a third riches, and so on, everything in the world that one can wish for.
when 11 of them had made their promises, suddenly the 13th came in. She wished to avenge herself for not having been invited, and without eating or even looking at anyone, she cried with a loud voice,
The king's daughter shall in her 15th year prick herself with a needle and fall down dead.
And without saying a word more, she turned around and left the room.
They were all shocked, but the 12, whose good wish still remained unspoken, came forward. And as she could not undo the evil sentence, but only soften it, she said,
It shall not be death, but a deep sleep of 100 years into which the princess shall fall.
The king, who would fain keep his dear child from the misfortune, gave orders that every spindle in the whole kingdom would be burnt. Meanwhile, the gifts of the wise woman were preciously fulfilled on the young girl, for she was so beautiful, modest, good-natured, and wise that everyone who saw her was bound to love her.
It happened that on the very day when she was 15 years old, the king and the queen were not at home, and the maiden was left in the palace quite alone. So she went around into all sorts of places, looked into rooms and bed chambers just she liked, and at last came to an old tower.
She climbed up the narrow winding staircase and reached a little door. A rusty key was in the lock, and when she turned it, the door sprang open, and there in a little room sat an old woman with a spindle, busily spinning her flax.
Good day, old mother. What are you doing there?
I am spinning.
said the old woman and nodded her head.
What sort of thing is that? That rattles round so merrily.
The princess asked the old woman, and she took the spindle and wanted to spin too. But scarcely had she touched the spindle when the magic decree was fulfilled, and she pricked her finger with it.
And in the very moment when she felt the prick, she fell down upon the bed that stood there, and lay in a deep sleep. This sleep extended over the whole palace.
But the story of the beautiful sleeping Briar Rose, or so the princess was named, went about the country, so that from time to time, king's sons came and tried to get through the thorny hedge into the castle.
But they found it impossible for the thorns to come together. If they had hands and the youth were caught in them, do not get loose again and let an animal dead.
The roast meat left off sizzling, and the cook who just after long years, a king's son came again to that country and heard an old man talking about the country, and that a castle was said to stand behind it, in which wonderfully beautiful princess named Dara had been asleep for 100 years, and that the king and queen and the whole court was asleep likewise.
He had heard too from his grandfather that many kings' sons had already come and had tried to get through the age, but they had remained sticking fast in it and had died a pitiful death.
Then the prince said,
I am not afraid of it. I will see things by the rose.
They tried to talk the prince out of it, but the prince just would not listen to him. By this time, the 100 years had just passed, and the day had come when Briar Rose was to awake again.
When the king's son came near to the causeway, it was nothing but large and beautiful flowers, and which parted from each other of their own accord, and let him pass unheard. Then they closed again behind him like a cage.
In the castle yard, he saw the horse and the spotted hound lying asleep. On the roof sat the pigeons with their heads under the wing. And when he entered the house, the flies were asleep upon the wall. The cook in the kitchen was still rolling out the tent to seize the boy, and the maid was sitting by the black hand when she was beginning to cook.
as the prince went farther on, he entered the great hall, saw the whole of the court lying asleep, and up by the throne lay the king and queen. Then he went on still further, and all was so quiet that even the quietest breath could be heard. And at last he came to the tower. He opened the door into the little room where Briar Rose was sleeping.
There she lay, so beautiful that he could not turn his eyes away, and he stooped down and gave her a kiss. But as soon as he kissed her, Briar Rose opened her eyes and looked at him quite sweetly.
Then they went down together, and the king awoke, and the queen, and the whole court, and they looked at each other in great astonishment.
The horses in the courtyard stood up and shook themselves. The hounds jumped up and waggled their tails. The pigeons upon the roof put out their heads from under their wings, looked around and flew out into the open country.
The flies on the wall burst again. The fire in the kitchen burned up and flickered and cooked the meat. The joint began to turn and sizzle again, and the cook gave the boy such a box on the ear that he screamed, and the maid finished plucking the fowl.
And soon the marriage of the prince and Briar Rose was celebrated with great splendor,
And they lived contented to the end of their days.